Hey guys, Zach Butler, YGO here. Just got back from locals a little bit ago. Originally was going to play in an OTS Championship tomorrow, but it might get canceled due to weather. So I figured I'd show you guys the deck I was probably going to play. It was between this and Theory on Punk. This deck's just been really solid, and it's probably one of the better decks of the format, arguably, like right up there with Naturia. But before I begin, as always, thank you guys for watching. And if you want to purchase any of the cards you see in this video, please use the affiliate link for TCG Player found in the description below. You're helping me out by helping yourselves out with a portion of that going towards the channel, and I really appreciate it. So to show you guys the deck, and we'll go kind of break it down a little bit by bit. It's very similar to Pack and Cody's deck from YCS Las Vegas. But so first you have 3 Naturia Camellia. This is like an Armageddonite for the deck. When on normal or special summon, you Foolish Burial Naturia card from your deck. Then when your opponent summons a monster, you can special summon back a Naturia monster. And once per turn, instead of tributing monsters to activate a Naturia monster effect, you can actually just mill 2, which goes great with the next monster of Naturia Mole Cricket. This is a Lone Fire Blossom for the deck, where you can quick effect during the main phase, tribute it to summon a Naturia monster from your deck. Or if your opponent controls the monster on the field with the highest attack, you can summon 2. One really cool thing though is because of Camellia, you can actually just mill 2. So if you were to normal summon Camellia and have Mole Cricket, you can then summon the Mole Cricket with like your spell, mill 2, and summon Sunflower, and you haven't actually gotten rid of any of your resources yet. And milling in this deck is very good because of the Runick cards. And then 1 Naturia Sunflower just as a negation card, and it's a good level 2. So that was with the Naturia engine. I did actually play the Ishizu Fairy engine. I played all 4. I know some more recent iterations of this deck since the YCS haven't. I just think having 2 millers, 2 shufflers is insane. All these cards are really good. This is a good defensive card, so it doubles up in that sense. These are obviously really good for the grind game. Agito's a good extender, so I just wanted to play these and continue to have that access, and being level 4 is also very good. And then I played 1 monster hand trap, and it was just 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, primarily for the branded matchup. This is like the generic kind of like, you know, like go-to card. So that was the monsters. For the spells, there's a ton because it's a Runick deck. So you of course have your 2 Runick Fountain, 3 Runick Tip, which searches out all of the other Runick spells, 3 Freezing Curses to negate monster effects, 3 Flashing Fire to destroy special summon monsters, 3 Destruction to destroy spells and traps, and 3 Slumber to prevent your monsters from being destroyed. Don't really think there's much to explain here, honestly. This engine's very well understood, and it's been very good since it came out. 15 Runick spells that aren't the field spell is the optimal number in 40 to 42 to draw 2 copies, or 2 different ones, without drawing more than 2, which is kind of your ideal. Although you could definitely play more and try to get to 3 just to maximize your draws. Although a lot of the time I found with this deck, you're just burning through so much of your deck anyway that you're gonna see them. And then I played 3 Book of Eclipse as a defensive card. This was okay. I'm not sure if I might continue playing this. This was very kind of average. It was actually one of the first cards I sided out a lot of the games, but it also was decent when I used it. And then 3 Naturia Blessing. This card's just insane. It's got 3 different effects, and none of these are once per turn, because for some reason this card just doesn't have any of that clause. You can special summon a Naturia monster from your hand or graveyard. You can quick synchro or quick fusion thanks to Naturia Blessing, which is pretty insane. And then for traps, you have 3 Naturia Sacred Tree. This is what you're aiming to mill most of the time. When it's sent to the graveyard, you can add any Naturia card from your deck to your hand, so you're either adding Blessing, Mole Cricket, or Camellia most of the time. And then 2 copies of Evenly Matched. You're seeing so much of your deck that you don't really need 3. I actually wasn't a fan of this card tonight. I might cut it all together. And since you're skipping your battle phases so often, it really doesn't help out that much. But it was just one of those really good blowout cards going second, although I wouldn't have minded having this be like Lava Golem or something. Just something to consider. But it did its job all right. I think I used it like once. And then for the extra deck, 2 Hugin, 2 Jerry, 1 Barone, 1 Changing for your level 10s, 1 Scarlight. This is actually how you're finishing games a lot, as well as giving you a win condition in time, because with this deck you will potentially go to time, skipping so many battle phases. But it was just like a good level 8, and that actually comes up because you can use Jerry plus Camilla to make it, or Hugin plus Sunflower plus Camilla. There's just a lot of really weird scenarios where level 8 randomly came up, so having Scarlight excess was really good. And then Coral Dragon and Stars Charge Warrior, those are very standard in this kind of deck. This is how these 2 cards are how you're getting through to, these are like your bridge cards, your choke points to the Baron de Fleur plays. So I think I summoned Coral Dragon. I definitely summoned Coral Dragon a lot more than I ever summoned Charge Warrior tonight. But Charge Warrior is there just in case you randomly needed an extra draw, or you need to make a level 6 non-tuner, because sometimes like you're just like loaded down with Naturia spells, the Blessing and monsters. And then I played Naturia Barkion as well as Naturia Beast. These cards are very powerful. The 1 card Naturia Beast play, or the 1.5 card Naturia Beast play, is very good. Or I guess it's 2 cards because you need to open Blessing basically. But if you open Camilla Blessing or Mole Cricket Blessing, you can end on like Beast, Cricket, and potentially Sunflower, which is really good. Barkion was very good. I ended up playing as Runick Stun round 1, so having both of these actually really helped out, because it meant that I was able to stop the floodgates as well as stop the runic spells, and Barkion combines well with Changing, allowing you to banish additional cards as well, which is very nice. And then I played Exciton Knights. This almost came up once tonight, where I was very far behind against ninjas just in tempo, but I ended up just not summoning this. I felt like it wasn't worth it, but having this as like a reset button is very good. Dagaris the Timeless, this card's insane. This is actually one of the reasons that I like this deck so much, because you get to play cards like this. Baguska just is a, kind of a like a pseudo reset button. And then 1 Donner, Dagger for Hire. This is how you out Ibli. This is how you out a lot of problem cards. It's just a good generic link to that kind of takes care of everything. And it clears your board, which is really useful. For the side deck, I sided 3 Denko Sekka. This was something I was testing tonight. I felt like with Labyrinth being so popular, as well as the Trap Tricks deck being incredibly popular and seeing a ton of success, Denko Sekka would be very good. And even Ninjas actually being pretty popular. Denko Sekka gets a lot of mileage in those matchups. So there was that. You also draw so many cards that you're able to see it quickly enough. And because of the way that the Runic engine works, and your Naturia engine can work with the Runics, discarding to then search cards, or you have Naturia Blessing to special summon from your hand or grave, your normal summon isn't necessarily locked into engine all the time, and so Denko Sekka can actually just come up. I sided this in, I think, 2 or 3 times, and every time I did it was really good. So that's definitely something to consider going forward in the format. If your deck doesn't really rely on the normal summon, and you can see a large quantity of your deck, Denko Sekka gets a lot of, I think, a lot of EV there. 2 Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood for getting close to time, and also just as like a good going second card. This card should have been something else. I never went to time, even though you skip half your battle phases. Never went to time. Never even really got closest, I think, except for once, but I had Scarlight and I was already ahead. So those could be something else. They could be like Twin Twisters or something, whatever you need. 3 Dark Holes. This card is very good. The reason why Dark Hole over Raigeki is because Dark Hole can clear out your monster zones too. So if they give you like an Ibli or a Gimmick Puppet or a Raw's Disciple, you can always Dark Hole and clear it that way and actually get to play. Harpy's Feather Duster for back row, obviously. One Change of Heart. I had considered actually these 2 Dogwoods being triple tactics thrust and then just being able to search these out, but I wanted the Dogwood just in case. I think that's probably something to consider, because then it gives you 3 copies of Change of Heart, which is really good, and 3 copies effectively of Harpy's Feather Duster, which is also really good. And then you also have basically 5 copies of Dark Hole and 6 copies of Evenly Matched post side, so your board wipes are just really good. That's been a consistent theme, I think, in all of my decks this format, is that I'm basically side out of any hand traps when I go into games 2 and 3, and I just side into board breakers because I feel like they just do the job better, and oftentimes drawing them in subsequent turns is very good. For example, drawing Dark Hole after you've set up isn't the worst, because if they break your setup, then you also have the Dark Hole, as opposed to drawing like an Ash Blossom or something where, you know, then if they break your setup, the Ash Blossom doesn't necessarily threaten anything. Also, drawing the board breakers as a 6th card is very good, as opposed to drawing any hand traps as a 6th card is just one of the most demoralizing feelings. Then I played 3-Dimensional Barrier. Again, you see so much of your deck that I had actually considered cutting back on some of these cards, like Dark Hole and D-Barrier and stuff like that, but I just wanted to maximize them to see them as often as I can. Ideally, you're going to be drawing, let's see, was it 3 cards off the Runick Fountain, like in an ideal world, and then a card off the Coral Dragon. So you'll be drawing 4 additional cards, so you'll see so much of your deck that your percentages to see these power cards goes up. D-Barrier, I don't think I ever sided, or I don't think it ever came up, but I definitely would continue to side this card. This format is just insane. 1 Point of the Red Lotus, just as like a generic good going first card. And the 3rd Evenly Matched for when I go second, especially against like Labyrinth, I'm siding into, you know, like these and just kind of like hoping that this will get me there. But yeah, so this was the deck that, with the OTS Championships this weekend, if I was going to play a non-Punk deck, this would have been the one I was going to play. Let me know down in the comment section if you have any questions or, you know, comments you'd like to add. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you to everyone who answered my poll on Twitter. You guys were the reason we played this deck. So thanks a lot, guys, and have a wonderful night.